All right, good afternoon, everyone. We'll get started here in just a second. Just a quick run of show for you. We'll have Dr. Hines come up and make a quick comment, followed by Falcons President and CEO Rich McKay. After that, we'll open up for a brief Q&A, and then we'll do a photo op after that. So, Dr. Hines? That'd be a good spot.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming. We're here obviously to announce the Georgia High Schools Association's return of the football championships to Mercedes-Benz Stadium. We're extremely excited about that. And I'll just say up front, although we had some snow issues once upon a time, it's nice to be able to have these things planned and not worry about the weather quite as much. But we enjoy our partnership with the Falcons. And before I get too far, I also want to acknowledge what a great partner Georgia State has been, and Charlie Cobb and Patrick Hatcher, who have done an outstanding job for the last 4 years and have really worked with us well. And there are certainly areas that we will be partnering with them in the future. But as of now, we're excited to be able to come back to Mercedes-Benz. We have absolutely enjoy a great relationship and partnership with the Falcons. And I will say this, and I'm sure that when Rich gets up here, he'll probably expound on it a little bit, but we have never stopped talking about our return eventually to here. And we're here. The time is right. We're grateful for them being able to work with us so that we can make this happen. And with that being said, I'll turn it over to Rich.
Okay, I apologize for my voice. So my voice is shot. So to Robin's statement, we are certainly pleased to have the championships back here. This is where we think they belong. This stadium, we designed it to host a lot of events, and it hosts a few more than we thought it was going to host. We're up to about 50 events a year, and it creates a lot of scheduling problems for us. And certainly with the Georgia high schools, I remain remiss on our part that we weren't able to keep the championships here, but I do take my hat off to Georgia State. Thank them very much. Thank Charlie and his team for being fantastic hosts. But we want to have the championships here. We want to have the girls flag football championships here. We want to have the high school championships here. It is always a scheduling challenge for us because we do have, requirements by the NFL on keep Thursday nights open, keep Saturdays open. There's a lot of requirements that go into trying to schedule these games, but I think we've got ourselves in a good place. And yes, we signed a 3-year deal, and yes, our intent and my intent would be that this deal would go for a lot longer than 3 years. So that's kind of what I have to say. I'm happy to have them back in the building. We've had a great partnership with Robin and his crew. The idea that during this period of time we did get girls flag football as a sanctioned sport in the state, that was fantastic, and we thank their partnership in getting that accomplished and getting that across the finish line. We had the semifinals at our facility a couple weeks back, and it was great to have them. And it was raining very hard, so I think they were very thankful to be inside. So with that, I'll turn it back to, I guess we'll go to Q&A if you guys want. And I'm assuming you want to hear from Robin because his voice might sound better than mine.
Yeah, Robin, we'll ask you to go back up to the stage. And Rich, if you'll stay up there. If you got a question, just raise your hand. We'll get you a microphone.
Hey, this question for either one of you. You mentioned scheduling challenges with the NFL and wanting to keep things open. Can you share a little more on how that is resolved, and were there any other issues that you guys had to work through to make this happen?
You want me to do that?
Well, you go ahead. I'll follow up and you start.
Well, typically we play on the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday after the SEC championships, and that's not going to be possible. And so there's still some flexibility depending on what the NFL does, but we would go to the following week, and we've got penciled in the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of the following week to get that done. If if the NFL schedules, and stop me if I'm speaking out of turn, we have the option of moving that back if that Thursday is taken. So it will be that following week.
So to Robin's point, I would say one thing, and you've seen this if you're watching closely on the NFL, we have created a lot more flexibility in our schedule late in the year. That's Sunday to Saturday, Saturday to Sunday. That's Thursday games. There's a lot going on. And accordingly, when you create that flexibility, you put onto us as a stadium, we have to keep those dates open until it is determined whether we're going to play. That has created a problem, to which I credit Robin and his team, because they're willing to go to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or even Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday if we have to, and that makes this much more doable.
We began to talk about this in earnest a while back, and we of course have talked with our board of trustees and polled coaches and that sort of thing, and they're excited about this possibility.
Go down front with that, Jay.
Yeah, Rich, I've always known you've been a big proponent of high school football, and obviously with the move with the girls' flag, that has helped. How big or how important has this been to Arthur as far as getting the championships back in the stadium?
Well, I think it was important in the sense of when he called to say, why aren't they there? We probably had that discussion starting then, so I'd say the boss, Mr. Blank, is, he's all in for high school sports, and you can see it in the funding that we did to get girls flag football underway and to get it as a sanctioned sport, not just in Georgia, but in Alabama. And now we're trying to get it done in Montana, which I know you're going to say Montana. It doesn't seem necessarily close, but Arthur does have a lot going on in Montana. So we're all in for that. I think he has constantly said, when are we going to be able to get it back here? Well, I've had discussions with Robin for a number of years, almost from the year that they moved out. And last year would have been a year, but they had an agreement with Georgia State. I am proud of them for honoring that agreement. I'm glad they did, and so this became the year to get it done.
And if you got a question, raise your hand. We'll get you a microphone.
This question is for Dr. Hines concerning that controversial call at that championship game with Sandy Creek and Cedar Grove. There's a petition out right now, about 700 people signed it. They want a rematch. Is that a possibility? And then also they're talking about instant replay and thinking about championship games being here at Mercedes-Benz. The technology is there. Is that something that you're all looking at?
First question is no, there will be no rematch. Unfortunately, we want all calls to be right. The current rules of the Georgia High School Association do not allow for judgment calls by contest officials. They're all not reversible or reviewable at this time. But we've already had many conversations, obviously, with our Board of Trustees, and we'll be meeting in January to discuss that and some other things. And there's a lot that goes into video review. Operationally, how does it go? What are the angles? Do you have the technology to do that? We certainly feel like we have that option in the championship games here at Mercedes-Benz. I don't want to get ahead of my skis on this, but I've already, I don't make the decisions, I don't make the rules. I'm the person that implements those, but setting the pre-work, and don't want to speak out of turn, but IJ here is involved in the Corky Kale, and that would be an opportunity should we get this proposed and to the executive committee in April and passed. We would like to move as quickly as we could to get a pilot so we could practice that for the games that would be played here in the Benz with the Corky Kale. So yes, we are going to take a look. We feel like we have to look at instant replay when it's feasible and the technology exists.
Any more questions? Just raise your hand. We'll get you a microphone. All right, if everybody's good, give us 1 second. If you want to reset, we'll do a photo op on the stage.
I did want to say one thing. That he talked about girls flag football, what a great partnership that it's been, and I just wanted to be able to publicly thank Chris Millman and Amanda Dinkle for guiding. And we didn't have a choice, actually, with those people. And so to put that in there, it is absolutely our fastest growing sport. We have about 230 schools involved in it now. There are almost 50 JV programs. We've seen communities around the state that have put it in middle schools and down in the recreation departments, and we want to see that grow. And I think that one of the things of coming here, we think that we can showcase the girls' flag football even more. So we're excited about bringing not just boys football, but our girls football to the Mercedes-Benz and having great televised events, and those girls compete and they can get it done. So anyway, we're excited.
Everybody good down here? We'll ask you to slide out of the way so cameras can get you in the back. Slide out of the way real quick. Cameras in the back. 3, 2, 1. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.